It's time for Mac Break Weekly. We are sealed in our soundproof booths and ready to do the show. Andy's here, Renee, and Lori Gill. We're going to talk about how the virus is changing the way Apple works, rumors about new Mac hardware and Apple software, and some movies you might want to watch. Looks like they're available sooner than we thought. It's all coming up next on Mac Break Weekly. Mac Break Weekly comes to you from TWiT's LastPass Studios. Stay in control when it comes to your company's access points and authentication. LastPass makes enterprise-level security simple. Check out lastpass.com/twit to learn more.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
This is Mac Break Weekly, episode 705, recorded Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. Disastertunity. This episode of Mac Break Weekly is brought to you by IT Pro TV. Get the most up-to-date IT training with IT Pro TV. Their video courses, virtual labs, and practice tests will give you everything you need to become a successful IT professional. Visit itpro.tv/MacBreak for an additional 30% off for the lifetime of your active subscription. Use the code MacBreak30 at checkout. And by CashFly. Give your users the seamless online experience they want. Power your site or app with CashFly's CDN and be 30% faster than the competition. Learn more at twit.cashfly.com. And by Health IQ. Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower life insurance rates for healthy people like you. To see if you qualify, go to healthiq.com/MacBreak and take the Health IQ quiz. It could help you save up to 41% on your life insurance premiums compared to other providers. It's time for Mac Break Weekly, the show where we cover the latest news from Apple. And we have the team assembled. Lori Gill from imore.com, where she's the managing editor. I have to tell you, though, Lori, I don't know if pink hair will protect you against the virus, but it's worth a try.
I'm staying more than 6 feet away from everybody in my life, except for one person who happens to sleep in the same bed with me. But I mean, I'm not going to sleep 6 feet apart from him. So.
No, of course not. Now, I just want to mention something to our team. There's a little arrow right over Lori's forehead. There you go. They moved it. a little mouse cursor right over there.
That's my new tattoo. I got a cursor on my forehead.
Oh, whoa. That would be very meta. Very meta. That's a good idea. A little mouse pointer on your forehead. Move your mouse. I can't. Also with us from imore.com and the host of the Vector video podcast, Renee Ritchie. Hi, Renee.
I'm trying to figure out, do I need the grabby hand tattoo then, Leo? So just like this machine to adjust my face? I'm not sure what cursor state tattoo I am.
That would be funny. Or a little, you know what? I think just a little hour, little face.
Oh, the
watch
hourglass.
face. Yeah, hourglass.
Beach ball.
Beach ball. Oh, beach ball.
Because there's nothing's resolving in there.
If you only could get spinning tattoos. Oh.
Yeah.
And do you not go from the WGBH in Boston? It's only because for 20 years I said from Chicago Sun-Times.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Some things are hardwired in, and you need to do like a firmware update in order to replace it. Lori, if I hold down the option key, will I get two of you? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, option key drag and you copy, Lori. That would be useful, actually.
That would be useful.
The funny thing about all of us is we all except for me, we all work from our own homes. We don't go out anyway. So this shelter-in-place order really hasn't affected anybody that much, I'm guessing.
Well, it's affected me a little bit because like now everybody is on Twitter saying the same sort of wise as comments that I usually say because everybody else is like without adult supervision.
Now they know what it's like.
Lives, so.
Now they know what Andy's life has been like all these years.
Also, I can't get pancakes. Dang it! I was gonna get pancakes on Sunday at the diner that's really awesome up the street, and well, that would be wrong. I should only do takeout. And then the human brain is weird because on Tuesday in the state they announced, okay, no dine-in anywhere in the state until further notice.
Wow.
And it was a decision that I already made on Sunday. On Sunday it was like a smart decision. It's still a smart decision, but now the knowledge that I'm being forced to not do it, oh, dang it! I wish I'd gotten those pancakes.
Vita pancake like everybody else in the Bay Area.
And for those of you watching a video, you probably notice it looks a little different because I am not at the normal round table. I am ensconced just a few feet away in my office, but my office is off limits to everybody. I keep it locked. And so it's a safe zone for me. And then when I exit the office, I'm very careful. I scuttle to the car very quickly. There's only a skeleton crew here anyway. I think there's only 4 or 5 people here. We sent almost everybody home. All our other hosts are going to be working from home. And most of our producers, there's only, engineers have to come in. A few people have to come in, but everybody else is home. So we are taking it seriously. I really want our staff to stay healthy as well. And, as the oldest person on the staff, it's also, well, maybe it's me and John. It's also important that we be protected from them. So, but just so
terror.
Yeah, just so you know, we're following along. I've got my my alcohol in my pocket. My hand wipes are here. Everything's here.
Are you doing DIY like everybody else, or do you have your own supply?
I actually the last time we flew, which was just foolish me, a couple of weeks ago to St. Louis. We went to WWT and do an event there. The airport had Purell, so I have this much Purell.
I was just talking about that to a friend of mine that we go over the years we go to all of these conferences and we either buy hand sanitizer because we're going to the conference or because we're a speaker, they give us in a goodie bag. And now it's if you go through old luggage, you will find a dozen little balls of Purell, and it's exactly like when you take out a jacket you haven't worn in a year and you find a $20 bill in the pocket. It's like, hey, wow, look at this corner of this laptop bag that I got for free for speaking. Hey, look, 2 bottles of Purell. Score.
Yeah.
Do we have to hoard bandwidth in case the world runs out? Do we have to have a stockpile of bandwidth in our garage?
There's plenty of toilet paper, water, bandwidth. Actually, there is a little less bandwidth around here because a lot of people are working at home. Although it's interesting, I noticed that a lot of the internet service providers suddenly say, "Oh, we'll lift the bandwidth caps for the time being," which underscores the fact that they never really needed them. That the technology can handle it. It was
AT&T went down because so many people are still on the 3G network, and they cut their 3G network so much that the 3G network couldn't handle it. And some people, I guess, don't know that you can go and flip that switch to voice over LTE. So they're still trying to consume all the old.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So, but on the other hand, I think we're going to all, there'll be some interesting lessons from this. Among other things, I think people have learning how to work from home. Schools are learning how to teach. I've wondered for a long time. Our son, who's in high school, has been in online learning for a while. So it's no change for him. He goes to school at home. He has teachers online. He did have some tutors come in, but they'll be online as well. So for him, this is really business as usual. And I think that I've always wondered why there aren't more online schools. It's I think, there's a disadvantage. You don't have that social element. We've in the past done things to, give him friends and stuff that he can hang out with, so he gets that social element. But I think that there's a lot of reasons why online schools might not be a bad idea. I think we're going to learn a lot more about. I just feel like we're going to come out of this in a few months, and it's going to be a different world.
There used to be jokes, right? Like the person would say, "Oh, you went to Stanford with a B," or is that an online school in Arizona? And then everyone would laugh and try to go out to work.
Online learning ain't bad, right?
Yeah.
Must be hard for teachers who haven't done it before, especially. But
yeah. And we're learning a lot now. Movie studios are saying, well, what if we were to actually release movies on demand, day and date with the actual theatrical release? And they wanted to do that before, but all the movie theaters, of course, are saying, look, if you announce that for any title, we are not going to be showing that title in our theaters because why would we help you cut our noses off? But now they're like, okay, let's do this experiment because there are no theaters in which we can show these movies. What if can we charge $20? Should we charge $40? Can we charge extra for like a blockbuster movie, or does it even make any sense to do that? So yeah, you're right. I think that at the end of this, a lot of different industries are going to be using this as they're going to be taking a look at the data that they're seeing during this period to see, well, we didn't have the numbers to indicate what would happen if we tried this before, but now that we have the numbers, actually everybody was just as productive as they were before. Our cost of maintaining a facility went way down, and it was just a good experience for a lot of people, if not all of them. So yes, let's try this.
Yeah. Incidentally,
it's Universal, right? $20 for like Invisible Man, I think is what I saw this morning.
Yeah, so
I love that
NBC Universal is making lemonade out of this lemon and releasing a lot of the movies that were going to come out in the big screen first, direct to streaming. Trolls World Tour, Invisible Man, The Hunt, which they had already pulled back once. It was going to come out last fall, and they decided it was kind of maybe inappropriate because it's all about conservatives hunting liberals with guns, trying to shoot them. And they, in September, I don't remember, there have been so many of them, there was a mass shooting, and they said, maybe we shouldn't release it now. So now it's released instead of challenging it in the theaters. Although people have told me it's a very good movie, I don't know if I want to watch it right now. But it is $20.
We don't have any conservatives in Quebec. We lost them all in the Quiet Revolution. We only have liberals and socialists now, so we're in trouble. There'll be nobody left.
Is it? I'm sorry. It's liberals hunting conservatives. Oh, all right. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Hey,
hunting some
humans hunting other humans for silly reasons. Yes.
Yeah.
Like The Running Man.
Yeah, I mean
I have a question.
There's a lot of movies like that. Yeah.
How do you feel about buying a movie you've never seen before? That's my question.
I do it all the time.
It's just a rental, though. Still, I don't think you get to buy it. It's still a rental. Yeah.
For $20, you don't even own it.
No, because your ticket price is like $12 to $15, and they figure the whole family is going to watch it for $20.
You have 20. You have 48 hours to watch it. I don't think even starts and stops are included. But yeah, no, that is a big deal. Because it's like you've got more skin in the game. The great thing about going to the movies is that you're leaving the house and you're seeing it on something larger than a 60-inch screen. Although maybe you have, it's great to have an audience of people in which you can actually slap them upside the head if they are making noise during the movie when you don't want them to. So there are lots of dynamics to this.
And candy.
Yeah, you have to make your own popcorn. Buy your own big gulps.
Movie theater is offering like DoorDash with their popcorn and hot dogs if you want it. Like, you can't come to the movie theater, but they'll DoorDash you the food.
Oh, that's hysterical. Scooter X is reminding me, and I meant to mention this. I tweeted it earlier. Glenn Fleischman, who's, of course, a longtime Tidbits contributor. Tidbits no longer publishes the Take Control books. They spun it out. But he has a free Take Control book, Take Control of Working from Home Temporarily. So if you, in fact, let me pull this up so I can show it. So if you are stuck trying to figure this out, we're lucky because we've been doing this for so long. We've figured it all out ourselves. But for those of you who are just trying to figure it out for the first time, Take Control of Working from Home Temporarily. Can you see my screen? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can. There it is on my screen. Take Control of Working from Home Temporarily. It's free. So if you need a little help, a number of people have reached out to me saying, hey, could you help us? We're trying to stream religious services. We had the local Jewish temple, the Chabad in Petaluma, had a 93-year-old Holocaust survivor coming to town on Thursday to do a talk. And, of course, they weren't allowed to have an audience. So they called me and said, could you stream it? And we were going to stream it, but fortunately, the 93-year-old woman, having survived the Nazis, has decided wisely not to risk the coronavirus. So she's headed for home. But yeah, so I think a lot of people are wondering, well, very interested. How is it you do this thing that you do? We've developed a skill. A lot of people using Zoom. Hangouts Meet is now free. Some enterprise features, including meetings for 250 people. I think it's an interesting idea to have an office, just everybody in the office join a meet and have it on running all day. There's no time limit now either.
Yeah. A lot of these services are getting their first like, oh my god, stress tests. I think, wasn't it Microsoft's Meet servers team? Sorry, that had problems initially, at least dealing with the bandwidth. But the Metropolitan Opera is one of a lot of different opera houses and theater companies that are saying, okay, well, guess what? We're opening up our streaming libraries we're gonna stream for free a different opera every night. So the first one was Carmen last night, and it
did you watch that? Of course you did.
I actually already subscribed to the on-demand channel.
Oh, okay.
So and it is a wonderful production, but this is the first time they've had like tens and tens and tens of thousands of people streaming at the same time. So it's kind of a good thing that they're learning what the limits of their systems are and how to improve them if necessary.
Yeah. John Legend just gave a concert. It's for St. Patrick's Day today. The Dropkick Murphys are doing a free concert. I know Chris Martin of Coldplay did a concert a couple of days ago. You mentioned the Met. Berlin Philharmonic is doing streaming concerts. In a way, and of course, it's always a double-edged sword when these horrible things happen. I remember 9/11, but it's always kind of, to me, reassuring to see how people pull together, and we're all to see the Italians singing from their balconies isn't that amazing?
Oh yeah. We're trying to convince Sickburn to do a concert, but Lori so far is unrepentant.
Sickburn in my balcony, baby.
We've been talking about whether or not we could do something on our roof or something.
Oh yeah, like the Beatles. Yeah, remember them?
It was funny. Patton Oswalt was on his Instagram doing his comedy set from his front porch to the empty neighborhood. So how's everybody doing?
It's very interesting because Peloton just announced 90 days free for everybody. I don't know how their servers will keep up.
I guess you don't have to have the Peloton hardware. You could just use it on your iPad and do your own exercise, because they do other things besides bike. I have a Peloton bike. I've been using it a lot more. It's great. You want to exercise. You can sit in the house a long time. You want to get outside, take walks, and exercise.
Do some yoga, de-stress.
Yeah. So this is an opportunity. I think people are going to discover a lot of new tools and techniques. I'm looking at Microsoft Teams and the number of problems reported in the last 24 hours. It is spiking a little bit.
All of the UK cell providers went down this morning.
Did they? Wow.
That's sort of the last thing we can take right now, because I'm isolated already. Don't take away my electricity.
I need that's the thing you worry about. Some big Apple news. We had heard rumors that Apple might be, I think it was Apple Insider had this rumor. They have a tipster. They might be releasing a new product or two, the MacBook Air, this week. They did that last year. I think they had a series of press releases with new stuff. And then there was a leak of the Chinese repair manual that showed 4 new iPad Pros, both 11 and 12.9 inches.
That's got to be Wi-Fi and LTE.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Do you think we'll see those this week? Because the other big story is that Apple has closed all its stores.
Yeah, outside Greater China.
Yeah.
I think some of it comes down to how the tipster, which I think it was actually Mac Rumors, they were the ones that had the tipster.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it comes down to how much, when that person got that information compared to what's going on right now. Because I think a month ago somebody could say that, and I would say, yeah, that's going to happen. I could see that happening. That makes sense. But right now, with so many things that have changed and so many reasons why Apple wouldn't release a new product right now. That information might have been true when that person originally received it, but may not be quite as true now. So I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of things up in the air now.
That's a good observation, because this is one of the great things about not announcing anything before you're actually taking orders for it, because now Apple can simply decide that the money for consumer products like this is not out there. Where we keep telling people that the iPad is great for being out and on the go, and nobody's out and on the go. China is still ramping up its manufacturing, so if we decide to delay this until for another couple of months, not only will people now be kind of lustful for actually making big consumer purchases because they've been doing nothing for the past couple of months, but we'll also have a much bigger backstock to deal with. So, yeah, I would be thinking that almost everybody who has the opportunity to not introduce a really expensive product that has nothing to do with like B days. If you've got B days, release them, because you're going to make real serious bank this month. But otherwise, I could see every company deciding, let's see if we can actually delay this for a couple of months.
Well,
So I have a personal investment in this. Is that, like, just for me personally, last year they did one product every week, and that was fine. That was great. I mean, we had to travel for most of them. We wouldn't have to do that this year, but that's a good pace. 2 or 3 years ago, they did like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And that was a lot, like, just to try to cover them.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a fan of the weekly than daily.
So, I mean, there's also a pro to this. If you've the con obviously is if the Apple campus is shut down, all the stores except for China are shut down. There's probably, I don't know what the tech support situation is. Maybe they're able to work from home, but there's definitely some stresses on the Apple team right now. On the other hand, it wouldn't be bad to have a new product that could generate some revenue, and the Apple online stores are going strong.
True.
So, I mean, I don't know.
We're desperate for attention. Like, we just want things right now.
And Apple has plenty of money. It's not like they can't, just kind of roll along till everything
Could they get
gets
away
better.
with a preview? Like, Microsoft did the Xbox preview yesterday with a couple of YouTubers, and PlayStation is doing a live stream preview.
Right.
But I don't see Apple doing like a technology preview for the new iPad or the new MacBook. I just see them doing, okay, it's available now.
You know who's busy, and he's not with us right now, and I think it's probably because he's so busy, is Alex Lindsay, who is his phone is ringing off the hook from people saying, hey, we're going to have to stream this conference or that conference. Apple has now announced, this is another benefit of not pre-announcing. They didn't have to cancel WWDC because they never announced it, but they have announced that it will kick off in June with an all-new online format.
A breakthrough online format. A revolutionary new virtual.
Just spontaneously, part of the innovation at Apple just spontaneously occurred to them. Yeah.
And I do wonder if after all this, we might not forgo all of these meet space meetings, because it's so much more economical not to have to fly to, San Jose. And
I like seeing humans, Leo, and I can get to come and visit you when I have an excuse to get to California.
I would argue that the cities would probably, lobby to continue to have them, because they get a lot of revenue throughout the entire city for everybody who's going in to, eat and stay at the hotels and use the transportation and stuff. So I don't think conferences are going to change. I know that was something that was kind of being talked about before, especially when some of the earlier conventions had been postponed, or they're going digital this year. Like, maybe this is the new thing, but I don't think so. I think there's too many players that will make money off of continuing to have these conferences that they won't make that transition, I don't think.
Apple did say they're going to give $1 million to local San Jose organizations to offset the revenue loss. You can imagine how Austin's hurting because South by Southwest.
That might I forget who said it, but someone said that might cover the open bar at the talk show.
Yeah, $1 million bucks. It's not a lot of money. Yeah.
But they're doing 15 million in overall donations, and they're matching employees 2 to 1, which is nice.
Yeah. That's an important factor in all this, that how important it is for companies to deal with the hourly wage earners who are really going to get into the neck if they're just simply told, by the way, we're closing down our facility, so good luck for the next couple of months. And these are if you're subsisting on an hourly wage, you also probably don't have a lot of access to healthcare, and you're under a lot of stress, and you're a really, really bad target group for the virus. So this is why I never shaming an organization is never necessarily correct, I think, or it's usually incorrect, I think. But this is why I hope that companies are feeling the pressure to say there are so many organizations that are finding a way to say, at least until the end of April, we will cover your hourly wages, or we will cover, if you're a server, we will cover your whatever your hourly tips plus base wage would be. And people are looking askance at companies that say, good luck. Well, some companies are even firing groups of people, saying we will rehire people when we decide to reopen up these restaurants, reopen these facilities, which is just, this is the Bugle podcast, which used to be run by John Oliver.
Love that show. You turned me on to that. I love it.
And in his ultimate, I think it was John Oliver that came up with the term disaster-tunity. about how certain companies latch on to a disaster to make it a marketing opportunity.
There's a lot of disaster-tunities going on right now.
Exactly. It's like if the guy who was in that New York Times article standing in front of his 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer, I would like CEOs who are also seeking this as a disaster-tunity to also feel the amount of shame and discomfort, let's say, that this person is feeling right now.
I feel bad, of course, for any hourly worker. There's a lot of restaurant workers and hospitality industry workers who are just on, out of work. Some of
Apple's
them have been laid off.
Apple's going to cover them, though. They said that in their announcement.
South by, the Austin Business Journal estimated the South by cancellation will cost $350 million to the local economy. I mean, it's a huge loss.
Yeah.
They've laid off, I think, a third of their staff, and I think Carson's telling me the last we heard they're either contemplating or planning bankruptcy. So it is.
And this morning they announced Car Phone Warehouse is going to shut down, which is something like 530 stores.
You're going to see a lot of restaurants shut down for good. You're going to see a lot of hotels shut down for good. There are a lot of companies that were just kind of going quarter by quarter that absolutely cannot deal with being shut down for even 3 weeks, let alone if it turns out to be until June.
According to NBC News, Facebook is going to give each of its 45,000 employees $1,000 and 6-month bonuses to help them through this tough time. I think these big tech companies, who clearly Apple can weather the storm, it is a little bit on their shoulders to do what they can to help their employees muddle through. But there's so many people, including, by the way, our employees who work for small businesses that don't have those resources.
Yeah.
And when when a restaurant doesn't have any customers, it's tough to keep people employed. I mean,
yeah, I'm concerned as I look out my window right now. The place across the street that serves those really incredible salads and has this really good soup, that I've been sort of saying to myself that when the shutdown happens, I'm going to be going there at least once a day. They've got a sign that says "Take care" with a big printed "Thank you for your business" sign, and I haven't been there yet to read it, but I hope it means that we are shutting down for the duration of this emergency, but we'll be back, as opposed to we are shutting down. We were. Basically, this was going to be the quarter in which we turned the corner, but it looks like we can't handle this.
Yeah.
So your neighborhood is going to start to feel the pinch sooner than you think.
So San Francisco Bay Area took stronger measures than anywhere else in the country, although I don't think they'll be alone for very long, and they may not even.
New York sounds ready to join them.
But it's been hard hit. So 7 counties in our area, San Francisco, Marin, Santa Clara, San Mateo, Alameda, Contra Costa, and Santa Cruz counties, are issued on Monday shelter-in-place orders, basically saying for the next 3 weeks, employees should venture outside only for necessities or those who provide essential services like public safety or medicine or sanitation. By the way, I want to point out media is in those essential services. So, but it hasn't happened in our county yet. But Santa Clara County, of course, is where the Apple campus is. So Apple has sent everybody home. There's nobody in the Apple campus except what would be essential at Apple? I don't know. You have to feel that Tim Cook's at work right now for some reason. I just feel like he is,
Well, he can probably lead by example. Like, he sounds like he's been doing everything around the clock with every team and being way more hands-on than he potentially really needed to be. So my guess is he's going to want to lead by example. But there are people who are doing just things for the products that are launching. Like Lori and I just got the Power Beats. They were supposed to come out Wednesday, I think, and they came out Monday instead. And there's people who have to run that whole launch, even though they're going to be in stores. And
you're wearing them right now.
Yeah.
What's the okay? Let me take a break because what? So there is a new product, and Lori and Renee are both wearing them. I mean, it's it's an incremental improvement, I would guess. But let's find out. We're going to take a break and come back. Lori Gill from imore.com, Renee Ritchie from Vector, Andy Anatko from WGBH Boston. Alex Lindsay, I would say, he's got shiny new Sony headphones. Alex Lindsay, I would say, has the day off, but I'm suspecting he's working harder than any of us right now. Our show today brought to you by, if you're looking for something to do during your downtime, why not pick up some IT skills? If you're not in IT, it's a chance for you to get a new job. in a very, very hot area. It's going to be hot for a long time to come. If you're already in IT, maybe up your game a little bit, get a better job, or make some more money. IT Pro TV makes learning IT fun and easy. It makes it easy to finish those IT certs. Maybe you've been struggling studying for the exam, and it's a lot less expensive than one of those technical schools. It's even less expensive than buying a bunch of IT books. Students can learn quickly at their own pace when your time allows it. It's a great time to stay out of the classroom and take your courses with IT Pro TV. You do it online. You can do it on your computer, on your iPad. You could do it on your Roku, your Apple TV, Android, iOS. It's everywhere. You can start your day, have some breakfast, watch it on the big screen TV, hop in the car, listen to it as you drive to, not work now, wherever you're going, the grocery store. It's just awesome. Binge-worthy learning for IT professionals. And the content is always fresh because the IT world is constantly changing. They have 6 live studios. They run them Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That gives them 4,000 on-demand hours of IT training and new stuff every single day. You'll get the latest exam objectives. If they're new certs, they'll have them first. Updated software releases, redesigned interfaces, and more. If you're looking for the certs that almost everybody needs, the CompTIA A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus certs, you ought to know IT Pro TV is the official video training partner for CompTIA. They have 12 CompTIA on-demand courses, including those big 3 certs. And, if you are an organization, I want to point this out, that has to cancel a conference or needs to start streaming content, IT Pro TV is there for you. Their facilities are state-of-the-art in Gainesville, Florida. They can take your conference online with general sessions, breakout sessions. They can have speakers in their studio in Gainesville, but they can also do it as we do it remotely. I went over there when they opened that new studio a couple of years ago, and I was blown away. It is beautiful, and it is state-of-the-art. So whether you're studying IT or maybe you need a facility that'll help you keep your business going, see how IT Pro TV can work for you. Go to itpro.tv/MacBreak. Use the code MacBreak30. You get 30% off. And by the way, that's not just for the first month or first year. That's as long as you stay active. 30% off gives you an amazingly good price. itpro.tv/MacBreak. The offer code is MacBreak30. IT Pro TV. Build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey. And by the way, we really thank IT Pro TV. As we hit tough times, a lot of our advertisers are starting to back off, saying, we don't want to advertise. So we really appreciate the advertisers that stick in there so that we can continue to pay our staff, keep the lights on, keep the shows going. I thank you, IT Pro TV. You've always been a great partner. itpro.tv/MacBreak. You help us out by using that URL and the code MacBreak30. Help yourself out, too. All right, what are those new near earbuds you guys is wearing? Those look good. They look like the old Power Beats. What's different?
So they are the old Power Beats. They're not the Power Beats Pro. They're the Power Beats 4, although Apple's not using the number 4. They're doing like the new Power Beats, but they have the H1 chip. So it's an upgrade from the old W1 chip. I think that was in the previous generation. And they're a little water resistant, and they've redesigned the cord so that it's a little rounder, and they say just better for humanity. But I think the sound is the same, but I'll defer to Lori on that because she actually knows what she's talking about, not like me.
She's got golden ears.
Yeah,
pink hair and golden ears.
They have completely updated the sound for the Power Beats 4. Sorry, Renee, but basically the Power Beats 4 have the same beamforming microphone, the same dynamic sound calibration that the Power Beats Pro have. So in terms of sound quality, now I haven't literally tested between the two of them, but from the marketing information, your Power Beats Pro is going to have the same sound. The Power Beats 4 has the same sound quality as the Power Beats Pro, which is a significant upgrade in the sound quality over the previous Power Beats and Beats headphones. So that's a big deal. It's a big bonus. They also actually changed the design of the ear hooks and the way that the base of it. So it actually looks more like Power Beats Pro, and there's a slight angle to the base. and the ear hook itself doesn't go up and around as high. It's more of a like streamlined, angled back version. And like Renee was saying, there's a rounded cord instead of a flat cord so that it doesn't stick to the back of your sweaty neck. So those are the main differences.
So how much are they?
$149.
Oh, they're less expensive.
$150.
Than the
they're
AirPod
less expensive.
Pro. Okay.
$100 less expensive than the Powerbeats Pro.
And $50 less expensive than the Powerbeats 3, which I think is really unusual. I'm not sure why they made that decision, but the Powerbeats 3 are $199 and Powerbeats 4 are $150.
And they're completely wireless. They're Bluetooth.
They are completely
You have a wire behind your neck,
wireless.
though. The sweaty neck.
Yeah.
So
they're like Miracle Max. They're mostly wireless, which means they're still partially wired.
You know, we had Marquez Brownlee on Twit on Sunday, and I asked him, well, so you're using the Mac Pros, he said. I said, you're using Mac Pros? How many Mac Pros do you have? 4 Mac Pros.
Wow.
It's a different world. I was watching his studio tour, and he goes by like a bunch of like one red camera is permanently set up on the robot, one red camera's on the overhead, one red camera.
I have to think he's getting those. I don't think Apple would give him free Mac Pros, but I have to think.
No, he said he bought them.
Yeah, I think the Reds he might be getting a deal on. Let's put it that way.
But Leo, like I've realized, like I see Marquez's studio or I see like Peter McKinnon's new studio and it's like one thing. And then I see like what Alex is doing with Pixar and ILM and it's like $1 billion stuff instead of $1 million stuff. And I just keep
And then you see what we're doing. You go, how much? A nickel on the dollar, huh?
Like remember those LCD backgrounds where they were just for the Mandalorian? And I'm like, there's you can just never spend enough money. There's always more money to spend.
No, and I really like what Marquez said. Because I asked him, you don't do daily. He said, well, we decided to go, and it's his tagline, we decided to go for quality. And so the amount of effort we put into every video, we could only do 2 a week. We couldn't do 5 a week. So he's decided to spend the money, a lot of money, and I don't think by the way, they're not bottom of the line Mac Pros. They're I think he said mid-range. He's spending a lot of money, but he's making a lot of money, and that's the standard that he's set for his stuff. So I was pretty impressed.
And the thing I love about him is he's never content. He's always trying to do better. Like he has the robot, because there's a lot of YouTubers who got super famous super early and have basically made the exact same video for the last 10 years. Like they put out like maybe 3 a year and just do the exact same video. Right. And then there are others who like they've been doing it for 10 years and they are still pushing it every day, and he feels like that's what he wants to do.
Yeah. I asked him, when are you moving in with Logan Paul? Because I think you really guys, you got to do a collab. What do they call them? Collab? I don't know.
Yeah, collabs. What the kids call them.
What the kids call them. I asked him about smashing the red button and stuff, too. I want to get some tips from He's only got 10.5 million followers, subscribers. So when the stores are closed, you might say, well, am I going to be able to get repairs? Did you read the
sort of no.
Yeah.
Sort of no.
It's kind of like you have to sneak in, and but you could go to the store if you have a product that you had repaired. You can go to the store. I don't know what they're like. Open the door, throw it out at you, and close it, or I don't know. But it's
well,
not.
Actually, the information said if you go on the 15th or the 16th. I think it was very specific that they were saying, as of yesterday,
right,
you can't pick up your devices just by going into the store. Right. That there's going to be. My guess is that they'll probably ship it to you, something like that. You just won't be able to walk into the store to pick it up.
But how are you going to bring it in if you need repair?
Then they talk about alternate methods of repair. So they're gonna try to do some kind of my guess when they meant by that is try to do some remote helping for you, like talking on the phone, maybe accessing your desktop or your phone or something like that, in order to try to help you troubleshoot it right there at home. Because a lot of times when people have something wrong with their phone, it's just a little thing, a setting they didn't know about, or maybe they need to restart it, or, a lot of times it's something that can easily be fixed. It's just that we're scared of our technology, so we don't want to do it ourselves. Right. And if we have somebody over the phone explaining how to do it, then we can kind of walk through that. And then my guess is if you've been taken through all the steps of try to self-diagnosing and figuring it out through a remote conversation and you still can't figure it out, or if it's something like a broken screen or something like that, then Apple will have you ship it to somewhere. It'll just take a lot longer. You won't be able to just get it done that day or get it done within a day or two, because you'll have to add the time of shipping it out. That's my guess, is the way that'll work for now. Is you can't walk into an Apple store and get a repair because they're closed. So they're going to probably try alternate methods like remotely helping you or having you ship it if there's no way they can help you remotely.
Yeah, and they're also helping authorized service providers to stay open by authorizing. The Mac Rumors got a hold of a memo that says that they're going to be receiving maximum payouts for qualifying product repairs during March and April, regardless of the shop's monthly performance metrics, to make sure that these facilities can stay open and keep working during while the Apple stores are closed.
Tim Cook and Eddie Q went to a party, the 60th birthday party for the CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucian Grange. Then he said, I have the virus. It's not known if Cook or Q have been tested or if they got sick or what, but they were all at a party with Grange. Grange is currently receiving treatment at the UCLA Medical Center. I don't know how ill he is, but that's a little scary. That's something we're all going to hear, you know.
Pause for thought.
Definitely positive.
Yeah. I don't think either of them are in like the most vulnerable target group, and they have excellent healthcare options available to them. But when I read about that, I wasn't so much worried about their health, because I'm sure they're going to be perfectly fine. I was worried about what analysts and what the stock market is going to think, that but what if this one guy that we have told ourselves is solely responsible for the success of Apple were to be out of the picture for a year or forever? What would happen then, when neither of those things is really really true or really a problem? It's just really uncertainty is the biggest leverageable factor in all of this. It's not the disaster that could possibly happen. We'll probably ride this out just fine, most of us, but it's the uncertainty of not being able to plan for what the market and what the world is going to look like in 6 months from now. I mean, nobody could have predicted all the industries that March Madness. There's nothing that could possibly cancel March Madness. There will always be there will always be baseball. There will always be. We're going to make sure we pre-order all kinds of liquor, all kinds of business stuff we're going to need to support all the people who will be coming in, and poof, it's gone.
Apple stock currently coming back a little bit as much of the stock market is today, but it's off from its 52-week high of $327 a share. It's down to $254. Do you think maybe you should have just bought some while
it's low?
Yeah, it's not like Apple's going to stay down there, right?
Yeah,
right.
Maybe, and I was wondering. I haven't looked into it, but I wonder if Apple's been thinking about buying themselves back a little bit, because they can buy themselves back at a pretty good bargain. Yeah,
they've been doing that.
Watching the shorts talk about it, it's been crazy. Like, can we keep shorting? Can we keep shorting now? Can we keep shorting now?
Oh man, just
race that train, buddy.
It feels like speculating on suffering. I just
yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of suffering, if you're an Apple TV Plus executive, your head is actually all of Hollywood is basically shut down. But Apple was shooting in Ireland for their Foundation show, the one based on the classic Isaac Asimov. They're shutting that down. You had the story, I think Oliver did.
And a bunch of the shows have just ended. Like if they had 22 or 21 episode orders and they were at episode 19 or 20, they just shut down.
No kidding. They just said that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
Uma Thurman's show Suspicion has been halted.
Fear is a mind killer, Leo.
Yeah. Was it you who showed me the hand washing chart with that, or was that somebody else?
No, it might have been somebody. There was so many of them, though.
I think we showed it on Twig last Wednesday. Yeah, because there's actually a great site where you can take any song lyric and put it to hand washing chart. But somebody took the litany of fear, and put it to a hand washing.
That's so good.
If you want to say it over and over again, it's good. It gives you just the right timing. Apple is also helping out a little bit by offering a movie sale on your iTunes store. Many bundles from $10, movies starting at $1 rentals. Batman, you can get all 4 of the more recent Batmans for $20. The Three Hobbits, $20. Lord of the Ring trilogy for $30. $20. I think this is a time to get that Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry 5-film bundle you've been wanting for a mere $4.
There were a bunch of people saying that Disney and Amazon and Netflix and Apple should just turn everybody on for free. But there's a huge amount of cost in the bandwidth and the CDN and just capacity.
Yeah.
And also, they don't own the stuff. They own very limited streaming rights to this stuff. So it's always easy to say, well, like Netflix should and Netflix is barely solvent. Like that's one of the companies that you can legitimately worry about because they don't have ancillary businesses like Apple does to defray the cost of doing all the streaming. So I saw a bunch of people just over and over again saying, just make it all free. And that's really hard because nothing's free. Somebody pays, and a lot of those services are already stretched really thin.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is Apple's cost, right? Because they still have to pay the studios. I bet you Apple's not
they're
making
licensing the shows from the studios. They don't have their own studio yet.
Yeah, go ahead, Lori. I'm sorry.
And so why should media companies, for example, just give everything away for free? If the idea is that we will stay home and be good citizens and not go out if everybody gives us free entertainment, that to me is just sort of that doesn't work. There's all these companies that need to continue to exist and do what they're doing. And just because I have to stay home, I am somehow like deserving of free things, that it's your company's job to, be a responsible citizen to society. And that means you need to give me all of the stuff for free. That doesn't make any sense. Grocery stores aren't giving away groceries for free, and hospitals aren't giving away healthcare for free, or I guess insurance companies aren't giving away healthcare for free. It's a little silly to just say, well, they should just give it all away for free. They're doing what they can. They're giving us discounts. They're putting out movies that are available in theaters. They're putting them out as digital for us to watch. They're doing a lot to try to help us stay home. But that's asking too much, I think, to ask a company to just give everything away. That's too much.
And that's the responsibility, I think, of state government to at some point say, okay, guess what? We tried just simply saying, we tried just giving you advisories, and that didn't work. And then we tried saying, okay, well, now you can't actually go and eat in restaurants and hang out in bars. You only do takeout. And now thousands and thousands of you are just going to the beach. Guess what? We're now doing a quarantine in place order where anybody who is like out on the streets, we will at least be asking you pointed questions about why you're at this beach and why you're at this park and why you're walking around this place. Unfortunately, the people don't respond to the lure of, hey, look, you can get the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel for free if you stay home and watch it. They respond to the governor, a governor that you respect, backed by actual health professionals who are saying this is the situation, that we are ordering all movie theaters closed. We're ordering all public gatherings of greater than 25 people to not happen anymore, to be canceled. That's the only thing that people respond to. So this is the responsibility of government to have to do the things that are going to make them maybe very, very unpopular for a little while. It's very difficult.
But Lori Gill, if we could convince Nintendo to push up the release of Animal Crossing.
Think I wasn't thinking about that. I would love for them to push it up.
You wouldn't be averse to that.
Price for it. Just give it to me 4 days early. Come on, it's coming out so soon.
They released Star Wars early. They released the last Star Wars movie early.
Frozen 2. Yeah. Give me my Animal Crossing, and I will stay home. I promise.
And New Jersey has a curfew, so at least you'll have something to do.
Are you in New Jersey now?
No, I'm just saying, for the people in general.
Oh, yeah, curfew is wild. I mean, I don't even understand the point of a curfew.
I saw Marquez's tweet where his Instagram, where he's like, I'm trying to finish this edit before I have to get home and the curfew starts.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, he's in Hoboken. Crazy.
Yeah. The one thing I was going to add is Apple said that if you are struggling and you don't think you can make your March Apple Card payment, you can ping them through messages, and they will give you them. They will not take the payment, and they will not charge you interest for the month of March.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and like Mint Mobile is offering free unlimited data to their customers through April 14th.
Our sponsor, nice. So, thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, so there's lots of thank you, Ryan Reynolds. There's lots of companies out there that are trying. They're doing some things to try to help mitigate our costs of not being able to get paid if we have to take time off, or just keep us at home, all that kind of stuff. So there's companies out there that are really trying without having to just literally give everything away for free.
There's plenty of ways. And, honestly, if you're a landlord, to evict somebody at this, in this would be insane. It'd just be cold-hearted. I understand you that's your revenue too. That's your money. But I feel like this is an opportunity for us all to step up. Let's take a little break, and then some good news, some bad news for Apple, but some good news. Good news for us. I don't know. It's hard. More bad news for Apple. But first, a word from CacheFly, who actually quite literally brings you this show when you download any Twitch show, audio or video, whether you subscribe in a podcast client or you download it from our website, you're getting it from CacheFly, our CDN, our content delivery network. They've been doing it since 1999. They saved our bacon back in 2007 or 8, when we were desperate. We said, what are we going to do? We can't figure out how to get people the shows they want to listen to in a timely fashion. It was a welcome call when CacheFly called and said, we can help. Now, there's something even better. They've just started offering 100% cache shield. This is cool. A drastic reduction in your data transfer fees with Amazon's S3 and other cloud storage origins by increasing your cache hit ratio to 100%. Consumers expect 4K content delivered instantly, anytime, on any device, anywhere in the world. If you're in the business of delivering content, whether it's a podcast, a movie, an app, a website, you need to get your act together. Get that web page loading, or that video without buffering, or your games downloading faster. That's what customers expect. But you can't do that when your cached items are being evicted for large one-off requests costing you a fortune in data transfer out fees. That's where 100% Cache Shield comes in. CacheFly's guaranteed availability. Now there's a simple way to avoid this. It's next-generation content delivery for you today and tomorrow. It's dedicated storage just for you. You can keep your data and content closer to your customers without the traffic of other companies. You can purchase as much space as you need, and your data will be fetched right from the 100% Cache Shield source rather than from your origin. Shielding reduces your origin spend by thousands a month, guaranteeing no cache misses. It also, of course, improves your download speed. No buffering, no waiting. It's there. And they give you guaranteed availability with the highest quality of service because they have servers all over the world. You can easily and reliably scale your video streaming to reach a global audience of any size, get hyper-fast download speeds, low latency, and a scalable solution for gaming. And I have to tell you, we've been on CacheFly for more than 10 years. Petabytes of data every single month go through CacheFly. Not one hiccup, not one. If there's a problem, it's something we did wrong. It's never on CacheFly. No 3 o'clock calls. The servers are down. Nothing. It's amazing. And do they save us money? They sure do. CacheFly's global throughput performance dominance ensures any cache misses are delivered 5 times faster than from the origins you're using. Right now, you could find out how much CacheFly could save you, what 100% Cache Shield would mean to you, a detailed analysis of your CDN bill, your usage trends. They smooth it out. No peaks, no valleys, so you always pay. You know what you're going to pay. There's no surprises. See if you're overpaying 20% or more for CDN. Learn more at twit.cachefly.com. Twit.cachefly.com. Thank you, CacheFly. We couldn't do it without you. Twit.cachefly.com. So supposedly, today was the day. I wore my green Irish hat because iOS 13.4 was supposed to come out today. I've been refreshing a lot. Apparently not.
It would have been 1 p.m. It would have been 10 a.m. for you.
Would have been by now. It's, yeah. They do. That tends to be, right? 10 a.m. on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
What happened?
That wasn't true.
It wasn't true.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
If you're running the iOS beta and you try to connect to the Power Beats, it says you need to update to the final version. If you have the old version, it's fine. But these are sounds like these were anticipating that. So maybe I would much rather if there was any little like last minute issue, they take a day to fix that, than release it and then have to pull it and then have to put out something else.
Yeah, don't rush.
Yeah.
No point in rushing. I wonder, maybe if somebody's watching knows, are Apple engineers working out of their house? Is that hard to do? I've worked for a long time with off-site developers. In fact, our developer now is Patrick's at home in Massachusetts. I'm just wondering.
I have a feeling there's an issue with. I'm sure that Apple has proprietary software that you can't just access from your home computer.
Maybe
that you
that's
need some
right.
kind of VPN hooked up, and though I'm sure that they can implement that might be a process of getting that implemented onto a computer that somebody can take home. So, or it may even be location based that they can't. You have to be like within the campus.
That would be sensible.
The VPN.
Yep.
Yeah, because they've got a lot of secrecy. So, but then again, because of what's going on, this might, Apple might have made some changes to allow for, developers to be able to work from home or engineers to be able to work from home, because they are all essential, but they don't all have to be on a campus, except for that Apple needs that privacy and security. So if there's a way that they can expand out that privacy and security and allow the employees to work from home, that would be good. I don't know that they are doing that, though. They might be like, well, we need you guys to stay here because we need that privacy and security. I don't know.
Yeah. I was going to say YouTube sent out an alert to all of its contributors saying that, hey, we can't have our usual outside contractors screening videos because of, again, security. It has to be done in a facility where they know exactly what's going to be happening to this content. And so as a result, they're warning them that we're going to be relying way more on automated algorithms. So they expect a lot of videos to get blanked for unnecessarily, and so be sure to let us know if we flag your video for content that is actually not actually there.
Well, they're also, some of their content is horrific, and they just don't want it. They don't want, like, the employees don't want to have it in their house with their families. Like, it's really psychologically damaging stuff. But the Apple thing is really going to be hard for a lot of the engineers who have to deal with Apple's systems, because they are not designed to. They are by design not meant to work from the outside. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they cope with that.
Yeah, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal. I guess I didn't realize this, but Tim Cook told some employees as early as March 6th, 11 days ago, to work from home as necessary. The Journal reported they interviewed some of these that they've been having challenges, slow download speeds, because it's not as fast as the Apple campus. But mostly Apple's own security infrastructure, which is built to keep outsiders from breaking in, requires in some cases employees still have to go to the office because.
Well, there were old stories about employees like just driving into the parking lot, trying to not have to go into their office to take their DevFuse device and install the latest internal build on it, and then desperately hoping that the internal Wi-Fi would reach them and the VPN would connect and the phone would update.
This article is from March 14th in the Wall Street Journal. Silicon Valley was first to send workers home. It's been messy. What happens when nearly 1 million tech employees work from home? You could tell people are working from home. The traffic has been really, normally the Bay Area traffic is a nightmare.
The New York streets were mostly empty, which was bizarre to see too.
Yeah. In recent days, software developers sent home by Apple chief executive Tim Cook have complained of slow download speeds and mounting confusion, the Journal writes, over still evolving new internal rules about what work they're allowed to perform. Some workers can't access crucial internal systems from home due to strict security policies. Google has the same problem. They told their 119,000 Bay Area employees to put in work-from-home kits of monitors, cables, and other technological must-haves to get them. And of course they would provide them, but they've been having a hard time getting them. Facebook recommending employees stay home when feasible, nevertheless required a large block of staffers to remain at the office to press on with certain work like policing videos or images. This is much like the YouTube problem. Deemed too sensitive.
Because their stuff is horrific as well.
Yeah. Can you imagine? So it's funny because here we are on the cutting edge of work from home, and technology. And ironically, they're maybe having more difficult time than others.
But you built your office so that you could do everything, right, Leo? Like going back to the old radio show.
Yeah. So we actually at Twit, we're in pretty good shape. Partly also because of the fires. Because I don't know if you remember, but a couple of months ago with the fires, our power was out. And that was a little bit of a crisis. And I asked our chief engineer, I tasked Russell with the challenge of how could we have the editors work from home? Because we have terabytes of assets, graphics and stuff that are here. So we've been, since the fires, moving stuff to the cloud. And we do have, at this time, some editors are actually doing their job at home, but mostly they're remoting into their edit machines here. That's that's the easiest way to do it. So we aren't yet capable of just completely like turning the studio off and continuing to work. But we've talked about ways that I could bring a switcher package home, and we want to make a portable package that I could carry with me anywhere if my power's at home as well. But right now we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, I mean, most of the people who came in because they insisted on it. And that's, I think, a problem in all these companies. It's just easier. I mean, I'm here. I feel like I'm here, and it's as safe here as it would be at home. And it sure is a lot easier. We got all the equipment and gear here. I don't have to make my bed like you guys do.
There was that meme on Reddit where they had the video production person sitting behind a computer. It said normal, and then it said coronavirus. Exact same video editor sitting behind the exact same editing suite. Like
no difference. No difference. Lisa came in. She didn't have to, but I think she's like the captain has to go down with the ship kind of thing.
She's dressed in like on the Titanic. She's on a high silk hat and a white tie. It's like, we shall go down as gentle people.
As gentlemen. Yeah, we've got the orchestra playing Near My God to Thee right now. So anyway,
she could just walk over and play musical chairs with the monitors, and we wouldn't be able to stop her. She could just swap me and Andy, and
she could. There's no one to stop her messing with it. The studio, we're just ghosts floating in our little TV boxes.
Can I say that?
Our remotes are not six feet away from each other.
I don't know. I don't know how you guys have done this for so long. I feel so trapped.
It's just so weird knowing that you're in the building, but I've seen the standard like foreshot of the studio, and your head is where it's always should be, but it's inside a monitor. That just sort of like put a little chill through my spine that this is.
I was kind of hoping they'd put the monitor in the Dr. Evil chair. I really was hoping for that.
Boom, boom.
Would have been great.
Even if it was just kind of tilted.
Like take a picture of the background and just green screen yourself behind it so it will sort of like blend in.
Well, as far as I know, I'm not in a green screen right now. Actually, I could be anywhere.
Be an Alex Lindsay rendering. We would have no way of knowing.
No way of knowing. You'd have no way of knowing. Yeah. That's why we put this big clock here with the date and time. Actually, we do that because the chat room insists on it. So if you've been hoping that Apple would, I have been, put up a streaming music service a la Spotify and Amazon and Google, here's some evidence they may not be planning on that. The report in Financial Times that Apple Music has signed its new deals with Sony, Warner, and Universal Music Group, the big three, to continue to offer those labels artists work on Apple's service for years to come. Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, Blake Shelton, Mariah Carey. But according to the Financial Times, the new deals do not include an economic agreement to bundle Apple Music with the company's television service. So, I mean, there's a streaming service in the sense, I guess there is a Spotify-style streaming service. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But
there's no Amazon Prime style bundle.
A bundled, yeah, that's what I'm.
Service,
that's
right.
I misspoke. I apologize.
Apple Plus.
Apple Music Plus to go along with. We had thought when we first thought that they were going to do the TV thing, and we thought maybe there'd be one bundle to rule them all. That would.
I think they're hoping for that too. But Apple's in a hard negotiation place because they're still seen as the ones who ended the CD fairly or unfairly, and everyone with any sort of digital artistic based IP is just very nervous of Apple in general.
Yet. That was a good thing for the music industry. The music industry's had the best year they've had in more than 10 years last year.
Turns out
that CD wasn't such a moneymaker.
It was great for people who printed and trucked CDs.
Yes. Yeah.
But also bears working out that the music industry essentially made the same deals with everybody. They didn't. I think they're more afraid of making a favored deal with Apple that they can't match with everybody else. And when you're negotiating with Apple, they are really super tough negotiators. They will find a way to shave one nickel out of an $8,000 per part thing. But they definitely don't want to be the people who have to go to their board saying, "Yeah, we realize that Apple is one of the most valuable and stable tech corporations in the world, but we decided to give them a discount that cut into our profits." No, that's not going to happen.
There was some reason to think Apple was looking at an Apple Prime because they did put a provision like that in the deals with magazine and newspaper publishers. So it said, quote, the iPhone maker could bundle the News Plus subscription with other paid digital offerings. So clearly Apple did want to do this. Mm-hmm. But obviously the music industry has some say in this, as you point out.
It might, it's all about the negotiation. I think it took a long time for, just Apple Music to become a thing because there was a lot of negotiation to be had. And that was after streaming services like Spotify existed. So I think it might happen. We might see a bundle like that where it would be TV Plus and News Plus and Apple Music all in one low price thing. I think it's just a matter of that negotiation. And just like Andy was saying, Apple is going to be a really hard negotiator. And so these companies are going to push back a little until there's a final meeting ground because, Apple Music is huge and people are going to join. They're going to jump into a bundled service if they don't, if they're not already paying for things separately. There will be new subscribers if there's an Apple Prime version out there. There will be people that will say, okay, now it's worth it because I get all this other content for whatever this one low price is. So I will now join. And it's just a matter of convincing the music company that you want to be on this with us because this is going to be big for you.
And now the bad news for Apple segment.
Yeah.
And in other court news, Apple was fined a record $1.2 billion by French antitrust authorities.
Sacré bleu.
Sacré bleu. Now we're talking some real money. Actually, $1.2 billion is pretty hefty. Apple says,
big money, yeah.
We strongly disagree with the decision. They're going to appeal. They said Apple and two wholesalers agreed, they colluded, in effect, not to compete on price and distribution, thereby sterilizing the wholesale market for Apple products, creating a cartel, which would also be illegal in the U.S. They say Tech Data and Ingram Micro, both of whom were also fined, 76.1 million euros and 62.9 million euros, respectively. The total penalty, 1.25 billion euros, the largest ever handed down in a single case.
It's an interesting psychology because this was totally bad, but when you look at it, this was under Steve Jobs, I believe it was 2005.
This is a long time ago, yeah, because they don't work with these guys anymore.
It's not that Apple wanted to fix prices so much as Steve, they
want to control
that
prices.
We've read in the past. Well, not even control. It's he just didn't want Apple stuff discounted because he thought it was bad for Apple's brand.
Right.
He just wanted this is a price. I'm setting the price. Why would you ever want to change the price that I set? Just don't change it.
We've known this for a long time. Apple tightly controls the channel. You can't get a deal. Well, you can kind of more now. Yeah.
Now you can.
Thanks to this. But for a long time, there was no point in searching for a better deal than the Apple Store because that's the same price everywhere. Unless there were, some sort of we'll give you a free
that once
Kmart
a year
card.
Yeah, once a year student discount or something, and you got a gift card, and you liked it.
And you liked it. You took it, and you liked it. So the French aren't wrong, in other words.
No,
but it does.
This application of their law, yeah.
And it's just bears pointing out this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lori.
I was just going to mention that I think that headline might not be totally correct because they've been fined a record 1.2 billion, but they're not having to pay it right now. I'm fairly certain that Apple's been fined a number that high in the past, and they've just appealed and it's been dropped down.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
Well, we'll see. But there is merit to the case, right? I mean, Apple definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The point is that this wasn't something that they're not pinging it for behavior from last year or the year before. We really are talking about
a long time ago.
An entire regime ago. This was the same time where if you work for Apple and you wanted to work for Google or Facebook, there was just no point because they had a handshake agreement at the CEO level that we will not poach people from other companies.
Steve Jobs move that was also
innovation.
He just wanted things the way he wanted them.
Trust, yeah.
Even if what he wanted
care
was
what the
unfair
rules
and
were.
evil.
Yeah, no, he didn't care. He just said, "No, this makes sense to me, and this is what we're going to do."
License plates are for little people.
If you can afford to get a new Mercedes every few months, why not? Apple did pay what I consider a bad judgment of $454 million to the patent troll Vernet X.
Yep.
So that money's out the door.
And now every major manufacturer is being sued for, I think, from Ireland for touchscreen technology.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I haven't read that, but I mean, I saw the story, but I haven't read the patent. Do you think there's merit to that?
It's one of those super thin ones where they didn't actually provide a lot of information. It just said that they were being sued for the import of technology that infringed on the patent for touchscreens, basically. And when I go back to think about Vernet X. It was like, I think that was originally based on fax machine technology that they chose to apply
that's just nuts.
to FaceTime.
Yeah.
And I remember an old Steve Gibson episode when he was talking about someone just being granted a patent to display the URL next to the content for the URL, suddenly making every web browser infringing. The whole system is...
Well, there's a story. It's not a Mac story, but there's a story about a patent troll who's trying to freeze COVID-19 tests. It's a company that is owned by SoftBank, who really ought to know better. They bought from another sterling company, Theranos, on a fire sale, some patents, and they have now sued BioFire Diagnostics, one of the few companies making a diagnostic test, saying they infringe the patent. It would, if they asked the court to issue an injunction which would block BioFire from using the tests.
There should be some form of eminent domain for patents where, like, if the good of humanity and the nation demands that this thing be put into production and you're just a non-practicing entity, then please sit down.
Yeah.
Well, this was a patent lawsuit against all of BioFire's testing technology, not just the COVID-19. And once Mike Masnick published this story in Tech Dirt, Labrador said, we'll give royalty-free licenses for anything for COVID. They didn't want to face that publicity.
They don't want any that kind of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really pointing out a lot of stresses in a lot of systems, like where everybody's jumping all over this one guy and the New York Times for price gouging on bottles of hand sanitizers that he's hoarding, and nobody's asking, but you know what? What about these drug companies that are price gouging on EpiPens and on insulin and all these other things that people need?
Yeah.
Should we now have controls over how much you should charge for life-saving drugs?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, the next iPhone, the iPhone 12, I guess it's time to start talking about it. Yeah, I mean, here we are. It's already March. It's only 6 months away. 7 months
Still
away.
waiting for that iPhone 9.
And 9 Plus now, too, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What have you heard?
I mean, that makes sense, though.
They found code in the latest iOS beta that, I think the iOS 14 internal build they found referencing a larger screen size for the iPhone 9 as well. So they figured it's a plus.
The A14, which would be included in the iPhone 12, according to Apple Insider, as fast as the iPad Pro, identical in multi-core performance, 50% faster, though, in single-core performance, which I think for most people, that's really what matters, right, is the single core performance. Most of the stuff you do isn't multi-threaded. That's because they're seeing stuff on Geekbench. This always happens around this time where people who have these new processors and maybe even prototype devices are running Geekbench on them, and it goes into the Geekbench database. And so you can
I'd be
the
suspicious
results.
of that at this point because the people who would have them know how Geekbench works.
They're not going to run. No. Yeah. I don't do patent stories, but You guys published it, so I'm going to go with it. A new patent shows the iMac with a built-in projector. Really?
Yeah, actually, the fun thing about patents are these sort of like what ifs.
Right.
Most of the time, like 90% of the time, we don't see it within any kind of like rememberable thing. But I remember there was a slap bracelet patent once a long time ago.
Right.
I still talk about it because those things are kind of fun,
cool.
Yeah. That means that somewhere there was some people sitting at a table somewhere in Apple, and they came up with the idea for a slap bracelet wearable. And right now it's that they've come up with an idea for a projector patent. Like somebody sat down and thought about it and came up with enough of a schematic to actually, submit that to a patent office.
So the idea is that you'd see the screen, but then it would extend out beyond onto your wall. It's not like a PowerPoint projector. It's just, would it be usable? No, because it wouldn't look as good. It would just give you. Is it ambience?
It's ambiance, yeah.
Or as you say,
but the side benefit of this, I mean, they discovered early on that if you publish one patent, everyone knows what you're doing. If you publish 1,000 patents and one of them is what you're doing, you're protected in case you ever want to do the other stuff. But also, it's much harder to figure out the one that you're actually doing.
Well, and I'm going to call foul because there might be prior art. Microsoft showed an Xbox that did very much the same thing and extended your game beyond the TV. And we were all very excited. They implied that they were going to sell it, but they never did. So they might run up against prior art on that one.
But Lori's exactly right. What I wish that Apple could do, I know they can't, but I wish they had the equivalent of being able to release or show off concept Macs, just like at the auto show they have concept cars that designers that are incredibly creative and incredibly forward thinking, but they know that they work for an auto company that cannot make a car that will only sell 500 units or 600 units. But for the auto show, we're going to actually build a car where the front seats are in the back. And it uses a motorcycle engine on 2 different wheels because we have this idea of how that would work and how that would work. Or let's have a turbine engine that we'd have no intention of really making, but wouldn't it be interesting to see how that would work out? If the patents are often a chance to see an Apple engineer who's probably just enjoying a burrito during lunch hour said, you know what?
Wrote it down on a napkin.
Exactly. What if we put a Pico projector like on the back of an iMac? Man. How would I use that? Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's a burrito he's been consuming. Maybe a little.
Well, I haven't been to the new campus. I don't know if they have a dispensary on the new spaceship
like
campus
that scene from Avengers Endgame where the Hulk just pats down those 2 tacos and then gives them sympathetically to Ant-Man before walking off.
I would buy that book, though. I would buy a book of concept art from Apple, patents that they've put out with someone who illustrates what that would actually look like. I would definitely buy that book.
Oh, Johnny Ive, the nose.
I'm speculating here because I don't know how it really works. But if I were a company that could afford to have a building filled with lawyers, one of the things, which I'm sure Apple does, one of the things I would do is make sure that one of those lawyers was at every pitch meeting, every product meeting, taking notes. And if anything was said that sounded remotely patentable, these guys are just sitting around patenting them.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
No, that's what happens in all industries. Richard Feynman, the physicist, tells a story in his memoir about how he was working at Los Alamos as early in his career, and like the government person in the patent office on site basically put out a memo saying, if you have any ideas for how nuclear energy could be used, let us know and we'll patent it. We'll patent it in your name. And he walked into the office just to tell him how ridiculous this idea, because it's just ridiculous. There's like 1,000 things you can do with a nuclear reactor.
Yes, those are.
Such as okay, nuclear reactor. You put it inside a sub. Cold water comes in the front. Hot water comes in the back. Boom! It's a jet. Or you put it in the air. Blah blah blah. And like just anything's being ridiculous. And then like 2 weeks later, he's like, "Okay, you now have the patents for nuclear powered aircraft, nuclear powered submarines, nuclear powered boats."
Yeah, why not?
Again, you want to patent it. You patent everything that seems like it's a good idea, or excuse me, that it's at least a repeatable or a suable idea.
I do feel like maybe the patent system is broken a little bit. Just a little.
Oh, absolutely.
Just a little tiny.
The question is it broken in your favor or the person that you want to hurt's favor?
Right. Let's take a break and get your picks ready. Your picks, my friends, because we are about to get to the final stages of the show and the picks of the week. I do want to thank Karsten Bondi, our producer, who is working from home. Yay. We made him. And he really wanted to come in. I said, no. Actually, I think he lives in a county that is locked down now, so he probably can't come in. A lot of our employees are in those other counties. But it's hard, as you might imagine. He'd very much like to get his 2 cents in. He begged us to put up a 4th avatar at the producer's station so he could be visually there. But he is in the chat room, and he is in our show notes, and he has been adding
a microphone and a bow tie.
We could. We just have to paint a little bow tie on it. Oh, no Karsten Cam today. But thank you, Karsten, for doing a great job under difficult circumstances. Thanks to everybody who's working hard. I feel like what we do here, besides, the day in, day out informative stuff, the tech news, I think right now I always feel like it's important for us to provide the companionship and the information and the entertainment you need to get through a tough time. And I've been fortunate enough to work in this business so long. I worked after the 1989 earthquake in San Francisco, I rushed home from the World Series game and went right on the air on KNBR in San Francisco and worked long shifts there. And it brings home how important the media is in times like this. After 9/11, I was at Tech TV. We went to all news format, and I remember working with Erica Hill sitting at the desk reporting just horrific stories. And Erica, who was from New York City, it was especially hard for her, but she's such a professional. We worked through it. And those times, I remember, of course, our first Screensavers back after 9/11. We had a candlelight vigil, and those times resonate for me because it really brings home a lot of times what we do, it's just fun. It's kind of disposable, but I take seriously our responsibility at times like this. So thank you for watching. I hope you'll let us continue to keep you company, and we will continue to make the shows, and we'll do it in a safe and healthy way because we want everybody to be back, so you stay healthy too. Our show actually today sponsored by Health IQ, a life insurance agency for people who are healthy. If you take care of yourself, if you work out, if you eat right, you could qualify for rates that could save you up to 41% on your life insurance premiums compared to other providers. Now, you have to qualify by taking the Life IQ quiz. They use science and data to secure lower life insurance rates for people like you. As an example, you can get $1 million insurance policy from $36 a month. And it's based on your fitness level. So the way it starts, they're going to act on your behalf. They're an insurance agency. They're going to give you concierge, white glove service, walk you through the whole process of applying. You're going to get underwritten by one of the top 30 life insurance companies. They work with them all, but they have savings that are unique, exclusive to Health IQ. You can't find it anywhere else. But to get these rates, you have to qualify, and it starts on the website, healthiq.com/MacBreak, with a fun quiz. It's the first scientific way to assess your own health literacy. It's a knowledge assessment, not a self-assessment. They put together the nation's top medical, health, and fitness experts to create the quiz. Depending on your score there, as well as other related qualifying factors, and you can provide things like your Apple Watch records, your activity records or your Fitbit records. You can save up to 41% on your life insurance premiums compared to other providers. There's no commitment. You'll learn about even more potential opportunities to be rewarded because you're committed to a healthy lifestyle. Let Health IQ's concierge service guide you toward getting the life insurance you deserve. Start by seeing if you qualify. Go to healthiq.com/MacBreak. Take their unique proprietary Health IQ quiz today. healthiq.com/MacBreak. Once you complete the quiz, if you qualify, the team will walk you through the process so you can get the savings you've earned for your healthy lifestyle. Let Health IQ go to bat for you. healthiq.com/MacBreak. It is time for my pick of the week, our pick of the week, but I'm going to start because I got an email. Do you remember the Classic Bot toys? I think some of you had them. You know who had them here in our studio was Alex Gumpel. He had a whole set of them. Well, there is a new Classic Bot toy to mark the, 19th anniversary of the iPod? It was March 14th. Was it 2001? The iPod came out. It's the iBoy. It's a retro toy figure from Classic Bot. And actually, when he emailed me, he said, we're just about to launch this. I see they've already, after 1 day launch, they've passed their goal already. And of course, they can't call it an iPod. It's the iBoy. and I should hasten to say it's non-functioning. This is an action figure. You're not going to put your music on this. It's just a little toy you put on your computer. It's got bendable arms, posable arms. It's got little ears. Oh, you can even tear the stuff off. It's all magnetic. Alex had a great set of these. The Classic Bots guys do such fun stuff. So if you're interested in the iBoy, I don't know. Let me see how much it costs. Philip Lee sent me an email last week. That can't be. Oh, it's Hong Kong $560. I don't know what that is in American dollars, but I think it's fairly reasonable. They're really fun, and they're not super big. Don't think it's not. I don't know if it's the size of an iPod. It looks like it is. There's a CD
I think it's a little smaller based on the hand that holds it. I think it's a little bit smaller.
It's cute. Anyway, I thought I'd mention.
Yeah, look.
If you already have the classic Mac, you kind of want him to have a little friend. Don't you?
It's so cute.
I know. Anyway, so and I still have a working iPod, so I don't really need it for an iPod, but it is a cute. It's $37 US. That's not bad.
It reminds me of BMO. Did I get that right? Wow, it's been a while since I've seen that show. The character from now I can't even remember the name of the cartoon. Never mind. Ignore me.
So I'm sorry. I see it on the website now. $37 for the iBoy Kickstarter special. There it is. Say hello to iBoy.
So cute.
It's cute. It's cute. Lori Gill, your pick of the week.
Speaking of cute things.
Yeah. Me?
So
no.
On this Friday, March 20th,
yes,
Animal Crossing New Horizons comes out. I know I've talked about it. I'm very excited. It's a relaxing game, a life simulator where you just fish and collect fruit. But on the same day, Doom Eternal comes out, which is a first-person shooter game where you're just splatterfesting everything in sight.
Oh, you can go either way, huh?
Yeah, and the gaming community has joyfully made these wonderful memes showing characters from the Animal Crossing world mixed with a character from Doom together, and the juxtaposition of the two of them is quite adorable. A lot of it is Doom Guy, which is the main bad guy, or the Doom Slayer, showing Isabelle, which is one of the cute, adorable characters in Animal Crossing, how to shoot guns, or maybe it's Isabelle coming into her own and just blasting everything away. It's pretty fun and pretty adorable. And if you just want to have a little fun, we have a little collection on iMore, but you can also just search for Animal Crossing Doom crossover, and you'll find a lot of adorable illustrations and memes and images and videos and everything. This
is a video. Cute. Oh my God. I don't know if I like. I don't know.
It's so cute.
Oh man, it's cute and weird.
Yeah, it is.
You will be
so
playing.
Have some fun with
I'm
that.
thinking you will not be playing Doom Eternal. You will be playing Animal Crossing.
I mean, after seeing all these memes, I might actually do it. I might buy them both.
Andy Anako, pick of the week.
2 picks, and they're both free and musical. Joyce DiDonato and Piotr Bieksa were supposed to be debuting the Massenet opera Werther at the Met earlier this week. I mean, this is part of on top of the health risks, on top of the financial hits. There's also lower down on the list, there is the heartbreak of all of these productions on all kinds of different stages that they're all set, they're tech rehearsed, they're ready to go. Everybody's just like leaping at the gate to debut, and boom, canceled. I was going to see Norma at the Boston Lyric Opera, and they had to cancel like the night before. Again, opening night, they were all set.
This is like in her living room.
Yeah, so basically they decided that literally in her living room, they set up an iPhone and they streamed it live on Facebook and Instagram, just doing like an hour and a half worth of excerpts, including, and these are like world class talents. The fellow at the harp is also like a world class harpist, and so they're singing. They're basically doing like all of their big numbers from Werther over an hour and a half, and also like sort of kidding around in between because they're just in their living room.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh man,
So, yeah.
that's amazing. I mean, a chance to see these people who you only see in glittering costumes distantly on the stage with all their makeup on singing, to see them in real life is so cool.
And can I also say, Joyce DiDonato is awesome. Like in her social media and on her YouTube channel, just she has such a brightness and such a sense of joy and such a sense of optimism and hope that this is going to, like, if you're in a sort of a sour mood, just watching her just jam to like 200-year-old music is going to make you very, very happy.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah.
Now the other free thing that's musical. Now I have to caution that I live alone. So that the fact that that Moog and Korg have made their like music making synthesizer apps for iOS free all week long, I can screw around with this without anybody wanting to kill me. So if you are trapped inside a house, maybe with small kids, and you want to not hear like electronic synth music made by people who have never made synth music before, maybe you want to keep this in your hip pocket. But Korg and Moog have decided to make both of their key apps free, I think, until Friday. So Korg's app is the Chaosilator. This is the one where you just have this pad that makes loops just by tracing your finger along with it. The Moog app is the Mini Moog Model D simulator that works on iOS and works on the iPhone and the iPad. That's a little bit more musical, so maybe that's a little bit safer. But these are both like kind of expensive apps as iOS apps go. The Chaosilator app goes for like $20, and again they're free all week long. There's in-app purchases for the Moog app that you don't get for free, but I would definitely remember that after Friday you still get to keep them for free. You only have until Friday to actually buy them for free.
Wow. So you don't get the modules on the Korg or the Mini Moog, but you at least get the base. All right.
Right, and they're fun things to play with. I have both of those apps, and they are really wonderful, like waiting for a train apps, or you thought you want to listen to certain types of music, but yeah.
Not only that, it looks good. I mean, it looks just like you got a Moog.
It's just twiddling knobs and switches, and the Moog D Model D is the more fun of the two.
That's so cool. That's so much fun.
Oh, I'm thrilled. This is great.
Brings back memories from the 70s, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know, I was watching a movie from 1972 or 74. A lot of what the nesting I'm doing is watching old movies. I don't want to watch the modern stuff. I'm watching a Sean Connery movie called The Anderson Tapes, which is the very first movie. Isn't that a great movie?
Yeah.
One of the very first movies to talk about how we're constantly being surveilled. But this is in the 70s, so it's like with telephoto lenses and reel-to-reel tape recorders.
Of course, you know that I'm going to bring up The Conversation.
Yeah,
it's Francis Ford
Coppola.
Right?
Classic.
Classic. That was the one. What I love about that, it also shows like a tech show, like a tech conference, which is like here's what they were like in the 70s. Like anyway. I gotta watch that. But one of the things they do, because it's the 70s and they're showing state-of-the-art technology, like a camera in an elevator. One of the things they do is whenever they show that, they have a little. It's really annoying. Yep. But I think in the 70s they thought, oh, this is cool. But you can tell it's a Moog. I mean, it sounds just like that. Not a lot of people could afford Moog synthesizers. Almost none of them were Wendy Carlos, however, and knew how to actually use a Moog synthesizer.
Right. Yeah. And somebody's mentioning before Garrett Morris became a star as the only black guy on Saturday Night Live for years, he was in that movie as a cop and actually has a great like bravura mini role, a little role on there. It's really quite good. He's very funny. I think that leaves but Rene Ritchie for our pick of the week. Mr. Rich.
Yes, sir. So mine is, full disclosure, this was made by a friend of mine, but I still think it is magnificent. So Dave Wiskus, who some of us know from his previous career, where he was a designer and he made the Vesper app with John Gruber and Fran Simmons. He's gone into video now, but he only makes like one video a year. And this one is a documentary on all the sunglasses and all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And he went out and interviewed the companies like Dita and how they design the sunglasses and how they get them in front of people like Robert Downey Jr. And like they always pick a celebrity to use as like the inspiration for the sunglasses, but they never know if the celebrity is actually going to like or use them, and how studios are now starting to get sunglass stylists the way they've had clothing stylists, and they deal with the stylists now. And they don't know if it's actually going to be in a movie, so they all show up at the movie theater every time, anxious to see if some of their work makes it into the final movie. And it's basically a journey from concept to design to seeing Robert Downey Jr. or someone like Spider-Man wearing them for either 2 seconds or the entire movie. And it's just gorgeously shot and color graded and titled and scored and all those things. And especially now when we have a little bit of time on our hands, it's like a 30-40 minute long documentary. It's well worth the watch if you like Downey Jr. or Marvel or sunglasses.
I just love it that
The Venn
YouTube
diagram.
and the technologies, the widespread use of these democratic technologies means that you can have a beautiful movie on the most niche-y, nerdy, I mean, really sunglasses from Marvel movies. But that's great. And if you're a fan, even if you're not, it's fascinating. I mean, who even knew this was a thing?
And he shot it with a C200, and it was originally an original on a streaming service, but their exclusivity passed, so now he's put it up on YouTube for everybody.
I think that's great. That's really cool. Yeah, that's a good plug. You can find it on YouTube, The Secret of the Edith Glasses by Dave Wiskus.
Even dead. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Even dead, I'm the hero. I think that's Edith.
So he has his own streaming service called Nebula, which is on Curiosity Stream. So let's give that a plug. That's another good thing to subscribe to during this.
Well, basically, if you get Curiosity, I forget the details, but and disclosure, they're a sponsor of mine too.
But if you get Curiosity Stream, you get Nebula.
Yes.
And Curiosity Stream's like $4 a month or something. It's cheap.
Yeah.
They were an advertiser for a long time.
I subscribe to Curiosity Stream thanks to Renee's suggestions on his Vector videos, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, $3 a month, $20 a year. It's very affordable.
And the cool thing is the Nebula part is educational YouTubers, but you don't have any of the sponsor stuff or YouTube ads or anything. It's just like Thomas Frank and Legal Eagle and all the big Kyrgyzak, CPG, all the big YouTubers in there.
So we end the show with news that Sonoma County is now joining the other 7 Bay Area counties with a shelter-in-place order. So I'm going to stay here for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
I hope you brought some food.
So what does shelter-in-place mean?
It means you can only go out for essential activities like grocery shopping. Okay. You can go to work if your job is an essential job. So it really kind of forces employers to let employees work at home. It is the most stringent requirements, short of a curfew, which they're doing in New Jersey, but is the most stringent requirement yet in place in the United States. And I think New York City is about to follow. I suspect you're going to see it all over the United States.
De Blasio said within 48 hours he expects to be doing that.
So you can go out, you can walk, and I see cars going by, and you know, you can go grocery shopping. People, you could theoretically be arrested. It was against the law to violate it. But they said the police are going to be generous. Nobody's going to be thrown in jail.
It would be such a damn shame if we have the Chinese experience and the Italian experience to learn from. It would be a damn shame if the United States of America decided to just ignore all those really horrifyingly hard-won lessons and just decided to go about business as usual. It'd be horrible if our citizens decided to just go about business as usual, too.
Yeah. And you see it. And so I doubt that any civic representative wants to do it, but if you see people just not, but tonight's St. Patrick's Day. I mean, today's St. Patrick's Day. Tonight's the party. If you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. Keep people out of those bars.
Can we all just go outside and sing Danny Boy at a pre-described
I like that. Time? Get on your balcony, 6 feet away.
You can throw up on a fire hydrant any day of the year. Why not put it off until June or July? You know?
Sick burn, Danny Boy.
John Legend is apparently still up on Instagram. Oh, I guess it was One Pacific that he started. Okay. He was with Chrissy Teigen, and they're taking live music requests. So Security Now is coming up, and we will do it. But, of course, you could always watch it later on demand if you wanted to go see John and Chrissy singing on Instagram. And I bet you Danny Boy will be one of the songs they'll sing. Lori Gill, thank you so much for being here. Lori, of course, is managing editor at imore.com. She's on the Twitter at Appaholic, and she joins us every week. Her band Sick Burn is around.
but
around
not
and
playing
about.
shows.
Yeah, they're out there. So look, you're not doing shows. Are you going to do a live stream from your garage?
That would be great.
You should.
Except for we don't all live in the same house, so then we're still kind of defeating the purpose
you
of not
can't.
getting together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lori. Stay safe, stay healthy. Same to you, Renee Ritchie. Of course, you're in the land above us where there is no virus can survive. So
No, it's the heat that stops the virus.
Oh,
not the
shoot.
cold. We're learning that.
Dang it.
Yeah,
I
know.
knew there was something wrong with it. Anyway, stay safe, stay healthy. imore.com. And you're going to keep doing the Vector?
Yeah,
course you are.
absolutely. I did one this morning on the Power Beats, and hopefully there'll be other more interesting stuff to do later in the week.
And I'm just saying, anytime you show some really cool new technology, a little little Moog right in there.
Nice.
Very hip.
Divorce
What about the Star
proceeding-
Trek instruments?
Divorce proceedings happening 3 days from now.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
This is the card game.
Andy
what a lucky
Ihnatko.
man
Now, are
he
you
was.
going to do WGBH? Are you going to be going to the library? No.
The library is shut down for everybody. And GBH already announced that they're not. Already told me they're not going to be doing stuff from the library. I'm on Friday.
Oh, good.
I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to come into the studio or not. Right now in Boston, there are no there's no order that would prevent me from doing so. Also, I have a lot to think about. Because I do have lots of resources to make sure that I do so safely and I don't influence anybody else's health. However, I do want to proceed with a preponderance of safety. Yeah. It would not be believe it or not, it would not be terribly easy for me to Skype in because the studios aren't necessarily primarily set up for that. They're used to being able to go wherever they want to go. But I will make the best decision I can. Either way, I'll be on. Looks like I'll be on Friday, probably at around 11:30 noon.
Yeah, I've been doing radio from my house, and they're pretty understanding, you know.
Well, we can do whatever we need to do. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out what the best solution is going to be because it's a hard decision. And it would be easier if I had people at home that I could be bringing the virus home to, but it's more like, well, I mean, it's easy to talk yourself into a decision that you want to make as opposed to what might objectively be the best decision. Because I'm telling myself, well, how many during your commute, how often will you be within 3 or 4 feet of anybody? And you've got plenty of sanitize, you've got plenty of this, plenty of that. But again, I'm trying to make sure I'm not going to talk myself into doing something I want to do as opposed to making the right choice. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, stay safe, please.
Doing my best.
Stay healthy. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You do the same, okay? Take care of yourself. We need you. We'll be back here every Tuesday. Come rain or come shine or come COVID-19. We do it about 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1900 UTC at twit.tv/live. You can watch the live stream or listen. The chat room is always there. We love our chat room, irc.twit.tv. We're all keeping each other company in there. In fact, that's a good tip, too. You can always head into the chat room if you're feeling lonely or scared or just want a little companionship. The chat room runs 24/7. All you need is a browser, irc.twit.tv. If you want to get on-demand versions of the show, we edit them lightly, take out all the Moog synthesizer, and
if you can't get a hold of a slide whistle while you're staying home with your family all week,
you can get on-demand versions at the website twit.tv/mbw. We're also on YouTube. Best thing to do. It'd be doing us a solid if you subscribe in your favorite, subscribe in your podcast catcher on YouTube. That doesn't matter, but do subscribe. That way you'll get the episode the minute it's available. And we will do our best to make sure, if we can do it with safety, and I think we can, to keep bringing you Mac Break Weekly. Come rain, come snow, come dark of COVID, we will be here. Thanks, everybody. Now, get back to work in your home office because break time is over.